Wa KBC Channel 1 kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo.
Our arts and entertainment industry has evolved over the years.
It is at such times that our destinies are written. Will we rise up in courage or die in cowardice?
Who are the movers and shakers in film and theatre? Get trendy as we review locally produced films and stage drama every Wednesday at 9 p.m. on Cinemas and Theatre.
Brought to you by the Kenya Film Commission. Film Kenya, Capture Africa.
It's 1 p.m. East African time. Good afternoon. This is the great KBC and you're just in time for a comprehensive news bulletin. My name is Njue and Brian Muraro will be my colleague on the sign language interpretation. We have a comprehensive bulletin lined up for you. Of course, we're keeping a keen eye on Shakahola and also the floods in the country. Now straight to the news. We are starting all the way from Shakahola where the exhumation and also saving of people is continuing, and Njue Karisa, my colleague, is currently keeping tabs with what is happening. Day 7 it is. Good afternoon, Njue. If you can hear me, kindly bring us up to speed with the latest on the exhumation exercise.
Good afternoon, Ben Troy. We are coming to you live from the Malindi mortuary, and from here there is a tracing center that has been erected by the Kenya Red Cross where families get an opportunity to present their documents and in search of their loved ones. These are persons who are coming from across the country in search of their relatives that are believed to be inside the Shakahola forest. Up to now, 360 persons have been reported. I'm joined by the Kenya Red Cross Director Regional to just give us a brief update as to what exactly is going on and how many cases, breaking it down, the numbers, how they are looking like. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Yes, as you clearly said it, we've established this desk. Today is our 6th day, and from the 6 days we've reported 360 reported missing people, and we've already closed 4 cases. That means that we'll be able to positively identify these people and then link them with their family members. But for 360, we are yet to link them with their family members, hoping that from the search and rescue at Shakahola, we'll be able to do so. If not so, then here at the morgue, once they start the process, then we'll be able to see if we can be able to link the family members and identify their loved ones.
I understand the autopsy is supposed to start from tomorrow, but just a word to the relatives that this process could take a while.
Yeah, I think that's very important for the family members to know that it's not something that you get information in a day. It's a process, and a very hectic process. So we give time to the healthcare providers to give us that information. So as Kenya Red Cross, we are patient, and we are requesting members to be patient for the healthcare providers providers to avail this information. Thereafter, then we'll be able to say if we've been able to close these cases.
How are the victims that have been rescued looking like? What is their condition? Also, what is your optimism for those who are still remaining in the forest?
We want to thank God because all those who have been rescued and or referred to the sub-county hospital, I can say with confidence that they are very much okay. That's according to the CC Health today morning when we were interacting, and they say that they are okay, and some of them discharged. That's a good feedback from the healthcare provider. They've done a good job, and we hope for those who will be recovered, then they can also have access to this facility and provide the same services that their colleagues have received.
I understand Kenya Red Cross has also put in their weight behind the search and rescue operations. How is that looking like, and will we have any conclusive feedback?
Yeah, I think we have experts there from the national government who are doing that job. But as Red Cross, if need be, then we can support. We are ready to increase the capacity of the search and rescue team. So we're working very, very closely with the relevant authorities to be able to achieve that goal.
You're doing a good job. Thank you so much. Right about now, the forensic experts have embarked on exhuming 35 more individual graves. Before that, for the past 6 days, the experts have been exhuming mass graves, but today they have embarked on individual grave. In one mass grave, you might find like 8 people buried and a family, or mostly children with their mothers. They have been buried in these mass graves, but today they are doing individual exhumations. Remember, from yesterday they zeroed in to where Pastor Paul Mackenzie was believed to have occupied the area and live, a place called the Nazareth. That is where he was doing his center of operations, and from there yesterday they exhumed 8 bodies, more so for children, because according to his doctrines, between January to April, children with their mothers are expected to die, to starve to death, and then we proceed to the men, and then when it comes to August, he will be the only sole survivor. So this process is a very tiring and a very rigorous process. Of course, media has been bad inside. We are yet to get any access. We are waiting for the intel from the regional commissioner, Rhoda Onyancha, who will be giving us a brief update every single day. That is, they have established a command center. They will be giving us feedback. So about 4 p.m. we will have a conclusive feedback as to how many bodies they have exhumed, how many they have rescued, any cases they have come about. But what we understand is they have intensified the search and rescue operations. The exhumation is continuing as normal. We are here at the mortuary to interact with some of the families. It is a disturbing case and is a disturbing scene, and the families are crying and appealing for help, appealing to their relatives to come out in their numbers so that they can be reunited. Some of the doctrines that they were explaining to their families in the past month, because communication is a big challenge in the Shakalola forest, they have just give us an account, and of course we'll be giving you a comprehensive storyline in our 7 and 9 bulletin. But as I wind up, one thing to note, as he set his foot in the Shakahola forest, the Interior Cabinet Secretary put a notice that they have put an inquiry on one religious group. Then today we have found out that the DCI officers have arrested Pastor Ezekiel Odwor, who is a televangelist established or headquartered at the Mavueni, in Mavueni in Kilifi County. That is where he has been for the last 2 years. He moved from Bamburi Ward in Mombasa County and came to Mavueni. He has a massive, huge following, and he has been televising his ministry through his church. So the DCI detectives picked him today morning, took him to the regional headquarters in Mombasa for questioning. They allege that yesterday they went for questioning at the Milele mortuary. This is a mortuary that is just adjacent to the church church, they claim that they are receiving more bodies from that religious institution. So because of that, they had to pick Pastor Ezekiel Oduor, and now the New Life Center Church in Mavueni has been closed down indefinitely until the investigations. And my colleague Anburu will be giving you that comprehensive piece. But for now, we are headed to Shakahola for the daily update on where have the investigations have reached, and how many people have been exhumed, how many have rescued, what exactly is happening, have they deployed more officers. So we'll give you this comprehensive numbers and update in our subsequent bulletin. But for now, as journalists, we are breasting the weather to give you these details, to give you updates as soon as they come. For now, Ben Troy, continue as we head over to Shakahola, that is about 100 kilometers from here. That's like 1.5 hours away.
Thank you so much, Njue Karisa, live there, reporting from the Malindi mortuary there. And after engaging one of the Red Cross officials there, we can authoritatively say that hundreds of those who are still missing, the cases are still being under investigation. 4 cases have already been closed, and the DNA and also the post-mortem supposed to kick off tomorrow. And now she's headed to Shakahola Forest, where Pastor Mackenzie has been doing his business. And it's a good also update that televangelist Ezekiel Oduor of New Life Prayer Center and Church is also being grilled by officers from the DCI to ensure that we are done and dusted. From there, we now cross over to the Kenya School of Government. As you can see on your screen is Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on illicit brew. Let's listen in.
Cooperation and coordination between themselves and the prosecution. And the way we look at this thing is not a problem for an agency, it's a national problem. I want officers here, both in the prosecution and in the investigative agencies, to appreciate that much as you are officers, you are also parents. And these children who are under the influence of drugs, your own children are potential candidates to get addicted. Indeed, the children of very wealthy people, very senior leaders in this country, very famous people, captains of industry, people who own factories, have become addicted. It's a serious problem, and parents are suffering in silence. I want to beseech you in this room today to know that you have a responsibility to fight this thing. And your own children are potential recruits into drug taking and eventually becoming addicted and zombies. And there is nothing you shall do. As we fight this menace, think of your own children. Think what would happen if it is your child. Those young men and women who have been addicted to this thing could be your own children. I want to appeal to you as parents to give this thing your all. I therefore want to discourage any blame game in this room. I want us to look for a solution. A multi-agency approach on how to eradicate this problem, and cooperation between the investigators, the ones who arrest people, the ones who do prosecution, so that we can save the generation that is not already addicted. We have a program that we are working on with the county governments on how to deal with the ones who are already in trouble, and it's a huge percentage. We are trying to come up with a rehabilitation center in every county to deal with those who are already addicted. We have talked to the governors to consider, once we map all the addicted persons using the community health volunteers, which is an exercise that has begun, the county governments will consider to give them NHIF cover, that can take them to rehabilitation centers.
Live on your screen is Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua there at the Kenya School of Government, where there is a meeting to strategize on illicit or illegal brews in the country. Just to mention a few things that he has talked about is that this indeed is a national problem, and also investigation and prosecution. All those who are engaging in the investigation and prosecution of this matter should up their game. Parents have been urged not to trade blame games. Let's work together to end this vice. We'll have a much comprehensive report in our subsequent bulletin. Let's now have a look at the flood situation in the country, where property worth thousands of shillings was destroyed by flash floods that hit several villages in Ndabibi area of Naivasha following a heavy midnight downpour. Victims have accused the area leadership of abandoning them as floods continue to ravage several villages located 50 kilometers from Naivasha town.
Scores of families were forced to spend the night in the cold following flash floods that hit Nduru, Huruma and Central Village in Ndabibi area, Nakuru County. This comes barely a month after similar flash floods left 7 people dead in Olijorai area of Gilgil, displacing several others. In the latest incident, the heavy downpour led to a trail of destruction, flooding several homes and schools and destroying crops in the farms that had recently been planted.
Tumepanda mara tatu tukurudisha mbegu, hakuna chakula tutaweza kutegemea ili tupate.
Transport was also paralyzed after major roads and bridges were flooded. The victims are now calling on the county government to come to their aid.
Kila siku tunaadhiriwa na maji lakini hatuwaoni. Kwa hivyo hatuna watu wote, kiongozi chochote sisi hatuna.
Malazi yote yamebebwa jana usiku. Alienda. Yote imeenda. Chakula ile kidogo ilikuwa imebaki yote imeenda. So tunaomba serikali yetu ya governor watuletee chakula ambayo ni ya msaada na malazi.
Arnold Feather for Lunchtime News.
And now to the security situation in Baringo, where displaced victims of banditry attacks in the county are staring at a humanitarian crisis due to lack of food and shelter as heavy rains continue to pound the area. They say the security situation has worsened despite the ongoing operation to flush out bandits in the area. They are appealing to the government to restore calm in the area so that they can go back to their homes.
Hundreds of families displaced by banditry attacks in several villages of Saimoso in Ward Baringo, north of Baringo County, are in a desperate situation.
Yote tuliwaje wakati tulifukuzwa na tena mimi mwenyewe kuanzia 2017 nilianza hii cha market mpaka sasa. Mimi natoka pale na ito uko ngora pale sana mpaka sasa, hata sijasimama pala nini. Mimi bado naendelea na cha market mpaka sasa. Mimi natoka mali na ito ngora.
They have been forced to come at Ngaratuko, Kipsebeyo and Kibenos trading centers. Irene Kimosop and Monica Rendile are among those seeking swift intervention.
Maisha iko mbaya sana. Watoto wanaenda kutoa hii vitu na sisi tunakuja kukongoa, alafu tunakula, tunachemushia, tunakula. Chemusha, alafu tunamwaga maji, tunapewa watoto.
Vile tuko tumeumia. Wamama wanajifungua msituni. Wasee wanaumia, wale wamekuwa wakongwe, hata tumepoteza juzi wengine. Hata tuko na mama saa mwenye ako Kabarnet mwenye ameshikwa na lomonia, ako na mtoto ya wiki 2 na bado anaendelea na matibabu, na tunaona ni kwa sababu ya insecurity.
Locals here say they are yet to see the fruit of the ongoing security operation. More than 10 people have been killed for the last 3 months. Tilio Marco for Lunchtime News.
From Baringo County, we now head over to the coastal city of Mombasa. I had earlier quipped that renowned televangelist Ezekiel Odero of the New Life Prayer Center and Church is also having his day at the DCI, the Coast Police Headquarters, and now we are joined by my colleague Ann Mboro, who has been keeping tabs with the situation that is unfolding. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ann. What can you tell us regarding this situation?
Good afternoon to you, to Njue back at Broadcasting House, and I'm coming live to you from the Regional Police Headquarters in Mombasa County, where the televangelist Ezekiel Odero has been arrested today morning from his church at Mavueni in Kilifi County. Following the arrest is that after the CS of Interior gave out an order that the churches should be looked into and a wider net casted to ensure that whatever they are preaching in the churches is not brainwashing their faithfuls. And today, Pastor Ezekiel Odero has been arrested, and he is undergoing some grilling at the police headquarters right behind me. And the issue, according to the regional commissioner, she just told us that they have arrested him because of the allegations that there are dead bodies that were coming from his church, that is the New Life Prayer Center in Mavueni, Kilifi County. And apart from that, also we have also information that he will undergo grilling. Right, he is undergoing grilling right now, and it will take a while, and maybe tomorrow he might be taken to court for us to understand exactly what the charges will be. But what you can say is that right now in Kilifi County at Shakahola, whatever is happening is the exhumation of bodies from the 800-acre piece of land belonging to Paul Mackenzie. We have seen that the faithfuls have refused to even talk to the media. Right now, the media are left out. They do not know what is happening in the thicket because they have been barred from entering the thicket. But today, what we can say is that the regional commander, Madam Rhoda Onyancha, has just said that they will continue the grilling of Pastor Ezekiel because of the bodies that have continued to flock the mortuaries around Kilifi County that come from his prayer center church in Mavueni. And we will be keeping tabs on this as the day goes by, and we will give you more details in our subsequent bulletins around 7 o'clock and 9 p.m. Back to you in studio, Njue.
Thank you so much, Mburu, live from the Coastal Regional Police Headquarters, where televangelist Ezekiel Odero of New Life Prayer Center and Church is being grilled in regards to claims that his church is involved in cultism. And he has said that he's still having his day at the DCI and will be bringing us a more detailed report as soon as the grilling is over. Well, from the coastal city of Mombasa, let's now go to Kisii County, where Kisii County member of the National Assembly, Doris Aburi, is calling for the protection of girls against vices such as teenage pregnancy, early marriage, and recruitment into cults. The legislator says girls are increasingly becoming susceptible to the society ills, and there is need for everyone to rally behind efforts to safeguard the vulnerable group. Aburi was speaking at Tendere in Bomachoge Chache during the distribution of donations by Ndonya Charity Mission.
Na ujumbe wa Mama County kupitia Donya Charity Mission ni kusema watoto wetu hatutaki wakeketwe, watoto wetu hatutaki wapatiwe mimba za mapema, watoto wetu hatutaki wakuwe recruited to any cult kama ile tumeona huko Mombasa.
Elsewhere, the government has been asked to allocate the National Youth Service NYS graduates grants to help them start enterprises for their economic empowerment. Independent Policing Oversight Authority Commissioner Doreen Mudaura says from their interactions with stakeholders, it emerged that some of the NYS graduates are using their paramilitary skills gained to advance acts of criminality to the disadvantage of the community.
There was a proposal to have the government give them a grant, especially for skills, technical skills like electrician, plumbing, welding, so that they can start off business. Of course, there is a realization that there are many other funds that are acceptable, but they think they are not eligible immediately after exiting or completing the program to, to access those funds.
Moving on, the delay in issuing title deeds to squatters on the 25,000-acre range land in Kiboko settlement scheme has exposed them to risk of dispossession of the land by land grabbers. Civil servants in the county government of Makueni have been accused of abetting the harassment of the squatters by land grabbers.
Ambayo ndio mimi ninashinda nikisema hawa mabroka mnakubalia hapa bila kutumia ofisi za serikali wanaleta shida na wanatukosesha amani.
Tuko na maofisi mazuri leo, nimeamini kabisa wako maofisi mazuri wanaweza tusaidia. Kwa hivyo Mungu awazidishie, na wale ambao bado wanaendelea kungangana na issue za mashamba zao watembelee hizo maofisi, waende kwa wakubwa, na nina uhakika watasaidika.
Nasema kwa serikali wakuje waweke savea, kila mtu akue kwake na atupewe title deed.
Now, Kenya has developed national parenting guidelines to help reduce violence against children that may mainly occur at household level. The guidelines, drafted under the leadership of the Directorate of Social Development in the Ministry of Social Protection, also seek to strengthen the family unit.
The National Positive Parenting Program, developed under the Directorate of Social Development, will provide guidance to policymakers and practitioners on the core principles of parenting and its contribution to a broader family support programming. The program will further provide practical guidance to support practitioners wishing to provide parenting programs in Kenya, while preparing parents and caregivers for parenting roles and responsibilities, sensitizing and training them to sustain stronger families.
The document is going to be disseminated from the national to the county government, and it will from there it will reach the villages, and people will be sensitized.
Stakeholders regretted that violence against children often takes place in homes, with caregivers and parents being the main culprits.
According to the survey that was undertaken by UNICEF and in collaboration with the State Department for Social Protection, it was realized that there is a lot of violence meted against the children. So now this is a mechanism to reduce violence within families. We have to start with the family.
They, however, noted that most families have been resilient to such challenges. The policies will be devolved to the county governments, where families will be sensitized.
Stakeholders say validation of the positive parenting guidelines will help to create a conducive environment for children and safeguard their welfare. For KBC Channel 1, I am Teresa Mutai.
Very well, at about 25 minutes past top of the hour, we are taking our first break here on KBC Lunchtime News. But before we do that, allow me to just appreciate Kennedy Sitati watching from Turkana North, Alex Kipchirchir, you say you're watching from Kipsamoite, Jonathan Kadege, you're watching from Tinderet, and Abby Salano, you say you're watching from Vihiga Mago Center. When we come back, we still have more news, including all the latest sporting action from yesterday night.
Ili kupata sikiza tune hii ya kibeti, bonyeza *811*962#.
Hadi umefanya vizuri sana kunifikia hii simu sahi. Nimekuwa na stress kutoka asubuhi kabisa. Na ni huyu mtu ambaye alikuwa anapatiana majina ya vitu. Kwani hakutufikiria sisi watu wa Eastern Ukambani? Ni nani alisema ati wife kwa Kiswahili ni mke? Na akasema ati handbaka. Hii inabebwa na mwanamke, handbaka. Ati kwa Kiswahili ni kibeti. Huku kwetu mke ndiye kibeti.
Ili kupata sikiza tune hiyo ya kibeti, bonyeza *811*962#. *811*962#.
The three of us can have dinner together.
That's great. I'll arrange a time.
If you agree, then we can get married and be together forever.
I'm sorry to inform inform you that the planned interview with Immortal is going to have to be cancelled. Our apologies.
So what should we do now?
What should we use for featured content if we don't have this interview?
If Immortal can't become number one, we're still gonna be shut down, right?
We just want to send him an interview invite.
Then I'll help you forward it. Diviner is a very private person. If I give you his email address, it may hurt our future cooperation.
So, wewe unaweza filaje ukitoa majina kama hayo?
Aje sasa na mimi hata si ati mmoja wewe.
Wewe si? Malizia wewe si?
Utaifanya.
Huyo jamaa shikisema.
Labda komisha, endelea kumpigia, eventually lazima atashika.
Relax. Itakuwa sawa. Leo itakuwa sawa.
Welcome back to Lunchtime News. Let's proceed. The Interior Cabinet Secretary, Professor Kithure Kindiki, has directed the Western Regional Commissioner, Irongo Macharia, to form a multi-agency committee to commence the environmental and socio assessment of gold mines in Bumutiru, Butula constituency. Speaking after he toured the Bumutiru gold mines, CS Kindiki say the deployment methods of gold mining are dangerous, especially during the rainy season. He ordered the security agencies to apprehend all school-going children who will be found working in the mines.
Amri zifuatazo. Kwanza, wale watu wote ambao wanachimba migodi hapa wawakilishe maombi yao ya leseni katika idara ya madini kuanzia sasa. All prospectors who are engaged in prospecting for minerals in this area must apply for licenses from the Mining and Geology Department immediately.
Ile kitu mimi nataka na niliomba serikali, ndio sababu waziri akatoka aje aone na macho yake security iko namna gani. Ya kwanza. Ya pili, tunaweza kupata technical expert kutuonyesha njia iko namna gani. Ya tatu, watu wa Butula wanafaidika kwa hii gold ambayo tunatoa hapa.
Elsewhere, Gatundu Law Courts in Kiambu County has ordered destruction of all exhibit drugs and second-generation brews whose cases have been finalized and offenders convicted. Deputy County Commissioner Stanley Kamande says destruction will prevent the substances from finding their way back to the society. Kamande, who was speaking at the Gatundu Law Courts during destruction of over 1,000 liters of Muratina and other second-generation drinks, said anybody who does not qualify to open a liquor business will not be granted a license.
Hii operation ya kumaliza ulevi na utumiaji wa madawa ya kulevya katika jamii yetu. Sana sana hii sehemu yetu ya Gatundu South imefanya kazi nzuri sana kuanzia wakati RRA ilianza hata hapo bereni, na hidi ya kwamba muda usio mrefu sana hii kasta court tumeimaliza. Tunapeana onyo kwa wale ambao wanafanya hii biashara ya kwamba wakati wao umeisha, ili tuweze kuzuia kuharibuka kwa jamii yetu.
The Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute is constructing a 40 million shillings wastewater treatment plant to conserve the marine ecosystem in Mikindani. The EU-funded project is set to improve the status of Tudor Creek, which has degraded mangroves due to human activities. Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute Professor James Njue noted that constructed wetlands are cost-effective and the sewer will flow through gravity.
Wameweza kuja na mbinu ile ya kuweza kusafisha yale maji kupitia kile tunaita kwa Kiingereza constructed wetland. Maji inapitishwa katika mawe hivi na mimea hivi, na tunatumia kile tunaita kwa Kiingereza natural organisms. Sinatoa ule uchafu wa yale maji, na maji kiingia baharini inakuwa ni maji safi. Umuhimu wa kutumia hii mbinu ya tunayoita constructed wetland ni kwamba hii mbinu haitumii gharama. Ikishatengenezwa inaweza kukaa miaka na mikaka. Itataka tu kitu kidogo tu kurekebisha pale na pale.
Ukitembea pale utaona ni wazi kwamba haya maji taka ambayo yanatoka manyumbani yameathiri mikoko kwa kiwango kikubwa. Asilimia karibu nusu ya mikoko ambayo ilikuwako sehemu ya Ganahola leo hii yote imekwisha kwa sababu ya haya maji taka.
Farmers in Busia County are appealing to the Ministry of Agriculture to hasten the automation of the distribution of fertilizers to reach them in good time. The farmers say they are yet to receive notifications on their mobile phones informing them of the availability of the subsidized fertilizer. They say they are unable to collect the top dressing and planting fertilizers until they are notified through the short message service.
Leo kuja registration tulifanya mapema tukitarajia mbolea itakuja ili tufanye upanzi, lakini tumepanda mahindi hadi ya leo mahindi ina karibu weke flower, hatujaona mbolea. Tukienda kwa zeros kutafuta mbolea wanasema lazima ukuwe na message, na hizo messages hatujaona tangu to register.
Ningeomba serikali iharakishie message chakula inaharibika.
Now, what happens when a community dejects an ex-convict? This is exactly what filmmaker Angela Wamai tries to depict in her award-winning film Shimoni. The film focuses on Geoffrey, who is going through a post-jail trauma with his neighbors denying him the much-needed psychosocial support. Here now is a review of the short film Shimoni.
Geoffrey, you survived 7 years of prison. You will survive freedom.
The film Shimoni follows Geoffrey, an ex-convict who struggles to reintegrate into society after he is released from prison.
He's still here.
Dispatched to the village where he grew up, Geoffrey, who was put away for murder, must begin to face head-on the demons of his past.
I hate you so much! I hate you!
With no resources, he's left dependent on the church for his survival. Built on the secrets and things that we keep to ourselves, the movie uses the character Geoffrey to demonstrate how such secrets gradually consume our lives.
Initial idea of Shimoni was I was watching something, and then I got this image in my head of a woman holding like a paper that was burning, and she was not letting it go. So I was like, this is very strange. Why isn't this young woman letting this paper that's on fire go? So I started thinking about this image and thinking about what just trying to understand what I was seeing. And then I started thinking about danger, the danger that we usually have or is existing in our lives, or we can't really avoid it. So then I started thinking about secrets. It was such a long journey. Started thinking about secrets and how secrets consume societies and people, and that eventually brought me to the story of Shimoni, which is a story of a man who has left a prison but has to confront another prison and has to sort of break himself free out of this quote-unquote metaphorical prison, this prison that's unseen.
Shot and directed by Angela Wamai and produced by Wangeshi Ngugi, Shimoni features Justin Mirichi as the lead character, alongside Muthoni Gadesha, Sam Senjan, Vivian Omboi, among others.
We just pretty much gave the casting brief to the casting director, and then he reached out to some of the people that we were interested in working with on the project, and then that's how we got our cast. Our lead actor is the one who came in pretty late. His name is Justin Mirichi, and everybody else sort of fell into character, and we loved them when we met them the first time.
Being her debut feature film as a director, Angela notes it was not easy transitioning from a film editor to directing. However, the film has bagged several awards, including a bronze medal at the 28th edition of FESPACO Film Festival in Burkina Faso.
First, it won at the Luxor African Film Festival. It won the Golden Award for the long films competition, which was a super surprise because I don't think any other Kenyan film has won that award. And then we went to FESPACO and we got the Etalon de Bronze, which was phenomenal because I was hoping maybe we can get one of the best script, best camera. I was hoping one of those others. So when they said the Etalon de Bronze, I was totally floored. I couldn't believe it. One, because I really do have a lot of respect for FESPACO and what FESPACO has been doing in the African film space. I mean, it has been in existence for so long, and it has, Semben, Godfathers of African cinema have won those awards. So I was like, wow, it was a really big deal. But it was really, I think, for even just the crew and the cast, this was a labor of love. It was true labor of love.
Mr. Englishman.
Starting this May, we'll be showing at Unseen Cinema in Kilimani every Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we have a total of 16 screenings. Please, show up and let's talk. And in fact, on the 5th of May, we'll have another Q&A, so people can come and also we'll have a conversation about the film.
Jacqueline Asharia for Cinemas and Theatre.
Elsewhere, renowned televangelist Ezekiel Odero of New Life Prayer Center and Church has been arrested over alleged indoctrination of the public and alleged deaths in his premises. He was arrested on Thursday morning at his home in Mavueni, Kilifi County by officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, and driven to the Regional Investigations Headquarters in Mombasa for grilling over claims his church is also involved in cultism.
As the regional security team and government, we want to make this brief that this morning we have arrested Pastor Ezekiel Ombok Odero of the New Prayer Center and Church at Mavueni in Kilifi County on allegations of the deaths that have been occurring at his premises and reported in various mosques or institutions. We've also taken action and closed down the prayer center going forward. So we are urging and giving information to the public that that prayer center has been closed down, and whoever was in there has been cleared out. He is being brought to Mombasa, and I will request that as time goes by, we will be giving you updates as we progress with investigations.
In business, even though the Njue sector has been allocated preferential contracting for doors, windows and other items for the affordable housing project, challenges in accessing funds to service the contract has hindered the uptake of this opportunity. To address this, HF Group has ring-fenced a pool of 4 billion shillings to offer credit to the informal sector to enhance their participation in the real estate value chain.
The deal between HF Group through its banking subsidiary HFC and the Njue Contractors Federation of Kenya, Njue contractors undertaking housing projects will access loans from the lender. The two parties are expected to create synergies in the real estate market by supporting Njue artisans with value addition for their products and services for increased revenue generation.
This partnership then will enable all the members to be able to get funding from us. So we have set aside 4 billion shillings to finance affordable housing construction works. So that's why this is important to us.
HF Group will provide the artisans with working capital in addition to training and capacity building opportunities, including idea conceptualization to procurement of products and services, financing, joint market research, and exposure to strategic partners. The deal targets to finance those who secure contracts in excavation, masonry, joinery, steelworks, plumbing, and finishing.
They agreed and they financed us from the start without anything. We have that now, an MOU with the bank, which will enable us easier convenience of supplying things. And then we are paid back and we pay the bank. So it will be a win-win for all of us.
The Njue sector has been allocated 10% of all the government's affordable housing units, but members have faced challenges accessing financing in order to realize these benefits. Terry Njenga, Lunchtime News.
In other news, the Kenya Industrial Estates, in partnership with the University of Nairobi, has rolled out a value addition training targeting dairy farmers in Kajiado County. The training seeks to impart skills to help reduce post-harvest losses as well as modern livestock rearing technology for better returns.
Raw does not bring maximum income. So training them in value addition and bringing in more partners will give them, will expose them and lift their profile, but also increase the value of the income that they receive.
This is part of an incubation project where University of Nairobi is trying to see how women's projects can be supported financially, capacity building, and in other ways so that they grow. We do not want the projects to die after 2 years or even 5 years.
Kajiado County's backbone is in milk production and livestock. And so we will move this project to all the constituencies in Kajiado County to make sure that our women benefit from this one sole product that they have, and that is milk.
Maasai elders are banking on Ekipata, which is the first phase of the Maasai rites of passage to inculcate culture and tradition to the youth. The ceremony aims to preserve tenets of Maa unique culture that forms part of the country's cultural tourist products.
Kenya prides herself as an ideal tourist destination with a diverse attraction portfolio that includes culture. As such, the Maasai culture is renowned owing to its unique tenets. Enkibata, Eyunoto, Olngeshe are 3 interrelated male rites of passage in the Maasai community. Enkibata is the induction of boys leading into initiation. Eyunoto is the shaving of the Morans paving way to adulthood. And Olngeshe is a meat-eating ceremony that marks the end of Moranism and the beginning of eldership. The rites of passage are mainly practiced by young men aged between 15 and 30.
Kwa sababu kama hawa saa hii yatakuwa rika ambayo yanakuwa stage moja yote. Kwa sababu sisi wa Maasai tukiwa kila rika iko na nafasi yake. Kwa hivyo hii manyata hii yanaletea wa Maasai kimila. Sisi wa Maasai tuseme Samburu, mali yote Maasai yote tunafanya hii.
Ole Chemunget says the rites serve to induct them first to moronhood, then as young elders, and finally as senior elders.
Hii manyata kwa sisi tunaomba jamii ya Masai msiwache hii kimila. Tunaenda kanisa, wengi hapa watu ya kanisa, lakini saa ya kimila kila mtu anakuja. Wale wako kasini, hata wakiwa wiko kasi cheukani, wakati ya manyata utakuwa kama wale umewacha nyumbani, hata kuwa ukisoma kiasi gani, hata kienda ngambo. Saa kimila wengi hapa wale wamesoma, hata wale wanafunzi wale wa university au wengine, lakini kimila ndio analetea sisi tukae na heshima.
The age set learns respect and responsibility, safeguarding of the lineage, transfer of powers from one age set to the next, and the transmission of indigenous knowledge such as livestock rearing, conflict management, traditions, and life skills. Although it's a cultural ceremony, it attracts tourists.
Najua kwa dunia Masai hii kimila yetu haiko kila mahali. Najua wasungu ikukuja Kenya, hata wageni yote natafuta kwanza Simba na Masai.
However, Ma elders are concerned over the shrinking land portions due to agriculture that threatens the cultural ceremony.
Na kila mtu aige tamaduni yao. Sisi wa Masai tuko na yetu na kila moja afuate yao.
Here, about 2,000 boys are converging in Isapin location in Narok County to mark the face in a ceremony referred to as Enkipata or Layuk. Regina Manyara reporting for Lunchtime News.
Quite interesting there. Counties will now share 385.4 billion shillings in the next financial year after President William Ruto on Thursday assented the Division of Revenue Bill 2023. As Werimo Njenga narrates, the county equitable share has increased by 15.4 billion shillings from the current 370 billion shillings.
The Division of Revenue Bill 2023 is meant to provide for the equitable division of revenue raised nationally between the national and the county governments for the financial year 2023-2024. Counties will get 385.4 billion shillings in the next financial year starting July, a 4.2% increase from 370 billion shillings county governments received in the current financial year. President William Ruto on Thursday assented to the Division of Revenue Bill 2023 after members of Parliament and Senate passed the bill without amendments. The head of state appended his signature in the presence of his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, and Attorney General Justin Muturi.
To the other conditional grants.
Last week, Kiharu Member of Parliament Dindi Nyoro, who also chairs the Budget and Appropriation Committee, said 385.4 billion shillings is equivalent to 23.03% of the revenue collected by the national government. Article 203(2) of the Constitution provides that the equitable share of revenue raised nationally that is allocated to counties shall not be less than 15% of the revenue collected by the national government. According to the Allocation Bill 2023, county governments will be allocated a further 11.1 billion shillings as additional allocation, conditional and unconditional from the national government share of revenue, and 33.2 billion shillings as additional allocation from proceeds of loans and grants to county governments. The enactment of the Division of Revenue Bill 2023 now paves the way for the preparation of the annual expenditure estimates for the financial year 2023-2024 and consequentially introduction of the Appropriation Bill 2023 as provided for in Article 221 of the Constitution, and publication of the County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2023 to enable them prepare and adopt their respective annual budgets and appropriation bills. Werimo Njenga for Lunchtime News.
Now let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports, where Manchester City delivered a masterclass to overwhelm Premier League leaders Arsenal and strike a huge psychological blow in the title race after a comfortable 4-1 win at the Etihad Stadium. Meanwhile, Chelsea lost their 5th successful game since the return of Frank Lampard, as Brentford won 2-0 at the Stamford Bridge to strengthen their position in the Premier League's top 10.